Enjoy the show and try to avoid grounding threats from Roku Kanda Vyonder, Harry's Track the GoAnimator, and Paper Luigi 99. Because everyone all over social media and YouTube said that grounding threats don't work. And you know what? They're right. Grounding threats don't work at all. So please, try to avoid those types of threats as much as possible. Thank you. And enjoy the show.
Hello. Mrs. Clementine here. And today, here's my summary of why should Poltergeist needs to receive an R-rated cut. This is fan-made and made up. The app I used for my summary is all thanks to Character Eye, where you can chat with your favorite characters from any kind such as movies, TV shows, cartoons, video games and more. Now let's start the summary as the class is now in session. Now, Poltergeist is a horror movie from 1982. It is one of the scariest movies ever. It is about a family who moves into a house that is haunted by a poltergeist. The PG rating that the original theatrical version received was unfitting, and the movie is way too scary for young kids. However, unlike the original theatrical PG rating version, the R-rated cut of Poltergeist is much gorier than the original PG version. The new footage that was added shows more violence and gore, and there are also some new jump scares. The R rating was a better fit for the movie, and it makes it even more terrifying. So let's see the comparison I just made up, shall we? The differences between the original theatrical version of Poltergeist and the R-rated cut are noticeable. The blood was added at the back of Diane's shirt in the R-rated cut, which makes the scene much scarier. There are a few shots in the R-rated cut where the beast's mouth is visible, but it's much more prominent in the scene where Diane is walking in front of it. In the R-rated cut, blood was added to the scene where Diane gets a shock from the doorknob, and she is thrown back. In the original theatrical version, there is no blood in that scene. The blood makes the scene more intense and gruesome, and it also shows how serious and dangerous the poltergeist is. The R-rated cut is much more graphic than the original theatrical version. In the original theatrical version of Poltergeist, the skeleton at the door had at least one string moving its arm. That was visible during the brighter moments of the scene, but in the 4K version, and in the R-rated cut, the string can no longer be seen. The addition of blood makes the scene much creepier. The PG rating that the original theatrical version of Poltergeist received was unfitting because it is way too scary for young children. The movie contains several disturbing and frightening scenes, such as the scene with the skeletons coming out of the wall and the scene where Diane gets shocked by the doorknob. Both of these scenes are very intense and gruesome, and they are not appropriate for children. That's the reason why the R-rated cut of Poltergeist was made in 2002 as a 20th anniversary version re-release. The R rating was more appropriate for the movie because it is much more graphic and gruesome than the original theatrical version. The R-rated cut also added more violence and gore, which makes it even more intense and terrifying. The R-rated cut of Poltergeist is way better than the original theatrical version because it is much more graphic and gruesome. The addition of blood makes the movie much more intense and scary. The R rating is also much more appropriate for the movie because it contains several disturbing and frightening scenes that are not appropriate for young children. Well, class has been dismissed. If you like my video I made, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button and add comments please. Thank you, and have a nice day. Happy Easter.